Welcome to our latest deep dive into the source material. Today we're unpacking a stack of Thai news broadcasts.
Yeah, covering the devastating floods across northern Thailand.
Right, driven by Typhoon Wipha. And when our weather apps tell us a storm has been downgraded, we usually breathe this massive sigh of relief.
Oh, absolutely.
You think the worst is over. But what we're seeing in these reports is that a weakened storm on paper can translate to like 3 meters of violent floodwater on the ground.
Yeah, that disconnect is what makes these reports so striking. I mean, we are looking at a situation where the meteorological label basically betrayed the communities on the ground.
Right, because the reports clearly state Typhoon Wipha had weakened as it moved inland.
Exactly.
Yet places like Nan Province were completely submerged shortly after. So how does a dying storm cause that level of destruction? I was thinking about it like dumping a huge bucket of water at the top of a slanted driveway.
That's a really good way to visualize it.
The rain might have stopped at the top, but all that water is now pooling violently at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, and that slanted driveway is essentially the topography of northern Thailand. The thing is, the public categorization of a storm usually focuses heavily on wind speed,
Right.
which dictates its category, but that completely ignores the hydrology. I mean, Wipha dumped 15 hours of continuous heavy rain over the high mountain peaks.
Oh, wow. So because that water is funneling down a mountain, it's gathering immense kinetic energy.
Yeah, that kinetic energy is the real threat here. Millions of gallons of water are rushing into the lower river systems, so the storm itself might be dissipating in the atmosphere.
Right.
But that water creates a delayed flash flood effect. It dangerously catches downstream communities off guard.
Because they were explicitly told the storm was dying down.
Exactly.
Man, and that kinetic energy, that really explains why rescue boats literally couldn't reach an 80-year-old woman trapped in chest-deep water.
Yeah, and Nan.
The currents were just too violent to navigate. And the reports mentioned Nan faced its worst floods in 70 years, with waters hitting 3 meters deep in some spots.
Yeah, it's a moving, destructive force. It doesn't just flood a town.
It batters it.
Right, it physically batters it. And you see that mechanical toll clearly on the historic Wat Fumin temple.
Yes. The reports mentioned 25 monks were trapped inside without power. But what really caught my eye wasn't just the fact that it flooded. It was that the centuries-old base of the temple actually cracked.
Right, the foundation.
We're talking about a massive stone foundation. How does standing water crack solid stone?
Well, it really comes down to hydrostatic pressure and soil saturation.
Okay.
When water rises up to 3 meters, it's not just sitting there passively.
It has a lot of weight.
Exactly. It's exerting thousands of pounds of lateral pressure against those walls. Combine that with the soil underneath.
It liquefies.
Yeah, from being totally saturated, the foundation suddenly shifts. And a stone structure that has stood for centuries, it simply can't flex.
Right, it just snaps.
It cracks under the mechanical strain.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me, though. We always measure the economic loss of disasters, right?
Where?
The ruined crops, the washed-out roads.
Sure, yeah.
But how does a community recover when the physical, centuries-old foundation of their cultural history literally cracks?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really reveals the danger of compounding failures.
What do you mean by that?
Well, look at the village and the reports that lost all its water pumps to the flood.
Oh, right. The irony there is incredibly grim.
Yeah.
The pumps are designed to clear the water, but they end up drowning in the very thing they're supposed to mitigate.
Right, when the village needs them most.
Exactly.
Which forces institutions and just regular people to adapt in real time. Because of these systemic infrastructure failures, when the pumps fail and the water keeps rising, a local hospital in Nan had to physically relocate its entire emergency room.
To the airport runway.
To the local airport runway.
Just to keep patients from having to wade through contaminated water to get care.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the storm system also battered the Philippines. And the footage shows a woman continuing a customer service video call while floodwater rises right up to her desk chair.
Just working in the water.
She just calmly keeps working, yeah.
We see these clips go viral, and the internet loves to praise this extreme resilience.
Right.
But I have a real problem with that framing. Why are we celebrating the fact that a woman is forced to sit in dirty floodwater just to do her job? Or that a hospital has to treat patients on a runway? We shouldn't have to be this resilient.
You're touching on a very dangerous narrative. When society celebrates that kind of extreme resilience, we we risk normalizing the systemic failure that caused it.
Yeah.
The adaptation we're seeing in these sources isn't a victory, it's the paradox of modern resilience. We are forced to work in flooded offices and move emergency rooms to runways because the very tools meant to protect us are the first things to fail.
Like the water pumps.
Exactly. It's a symptom of a total systemic breakdown. It's a flashing warning sign that our current global infrastructure just cannot handle this new era of extreme weather.
So this isn't a story of human perseverance. It's a massive warning sign.
Yeah. Our global infrastructure was built for a climate baseline that we simply don't live in anymore.
Which brings us right back to that weather app. We often look at these catastrophic floods in Thailand or the Philippines and think of them as, distant, isolated events.
It's happening to someone else, yeah.
Right. But water doesn't care about city limits, borders, or modern engineering.
It only cares about gravity.
Exactly. If centuries-old monuments and modern hospitals are both buckling under the pressure, what invisible vulnerabilities are hiding in your own city's infrastructure, just waiting to be exposed by the next storm? Because the water is coming down the mountain, and gravity ensures is always going to find the weakest point.